Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tides of Death. We are here with PotatoMcWhiskey. How are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic, aside from a lack of sleep, but otherwise great.
Yeah, that does happen, doesn't it?
It does happen.
Those little critters running around at 2 a.m., the most exciting time to be awake.
Of course.
So, why don't you introduce us to your character? What is your character's name?
My character is called Saol,
And,
and they are
mhm.
quite devious. They are a
Mhm.
liar and a cheat and a swindler at heart.
Well, yeah, yeah, I get that. Totally. So our first chapter here is going to be this seminal event that sort of puts you on the path to where you are today. You and your older brother arrived in the Dardanelles years ago. How many years ago was it that you arrived in the Dardanelles for the first time?
I would say it was about 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Okay. Okay. How old were you at this point 2 years ago?
Probably I was early 20s, he's kind of mid 20s.
Okay. So
So
early
like
20s.
23, say.
23. Okay. That's nice.
A nice
So,
young man with a twinkle in his eye.
mm-hmm. And how is it that you originally came to the Dardanelles? How did you arrive here for the first time?
I think it was mainly my brother's idea. He had sort of a dream to go away, fame and fortune, earn his wage on a boat, and sort of maybe captain his own ship sometime. And I always lived in his shadow, so I was kind of like, I can't let him go be, famous and successful without me. I deserve that.
Let's see. But it all went terribly, terribly wrong. Right? What was the event that made everything go sideways?
I think we were pulling into port, and I think we had like misread our maps, and maybe we pulled into the wrong kind of port, and it was perhaps more lawless than we had thought it would be. And you know, you get to drinking in the local bar, and next thing you know, you're waking up on your ship with a sword to your throat.
Yeah, that does happen. So, you and your brother wake up in port, swords to your throat. I assume that there's some other people on this ship. You've got some other crew here, and the two of you get pulled apart from the rest of the crew. You guys have been identified as the captain and the first mate, even if that's not technically your title here. And the unscrupulous folks who have already searched your boat and apparently found nothing, found no valuables whatsoever. Your brother
They probably would have found grain.
Yeah, your brother explains that, you're in between things right now. You're here with just the grain that you've got. There's no money to be had. And these brigands have a conversation in front of you to each other, and it's somewhat along the lines of, well, what are we going to do with these guys? They've seen us. They know who we are. If we let them go, they'll report us to the White Prince. And if the White Prince hears about this sort of operation, well, certainly we'll have to deal with some of their seekers soon enough, and that's going to be the end of us. I say we cut their heads off and throw them in the ocean. Let them think that pirates did it. Well, they'll never track us here. The tides will pull them away. And this seems to be kind of picking up steam with the rest of the party. They seem content just to kill you guys and throw you in the ocean. How are you going to get out of this?
Yeah, I kind of interject. I'm like, wait. There's no need to kill anybody, guys. Listen, I can get you a ransom. Me and my brother, we're actually kind of like minor lords back in our town, and we're kind of scions. We ran away. You know how it is, shadow of the father. We had to make our own way in the world. But look, if you get me back to Redport or back over to Arcadia, I could get a boat over here with a bit of cash, and you could set me and my brother free. I don't care what you do with the crew, kill the crew, whatever. But my brother and I can get you some gold if you let us live.
How much gold do you think your brother would call for ransom?
Ooh, oh, I don't know. That's a tough one. I'd say, what's like a, what would be like a decent amount of gold? Like the sort of money that would, someone would be like, okay, I'm gonna buy a farm and retire. And,
Yeah,
like,
so
live out my days.
very generally, a direct comparison is not possible, but very generally, one gold piece is about $100 or 100 euros, whatever. So 1,000 gold is like 100,000 bucks, which is not a bad ransom for a minor noble. Couple thousand gold, couple $100,000. That's pretty decent ransom for a mid-class to high-class noble, you know. 10,000 gold would be about $1 million, and that would be a very hefty ransom.
So I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, how much gold do I quote? It's like, I don't want to go too low because they might just think we're not worth it. So I was like, I could probably get you like 1,000 gold, maybe a bit more, just in and around there.
Really?
What do you got?
1,000 gold for your brother, huh? What sort of nobles are you?
Well, we own a bit of land and we have a lot of money. We're into banking and stuff like that.
Arcadia's a pretty great distance from here. You sure you're not going to get a cold feet? Turn around, leave your brother here to rot? Leave us here to feed him?
I put my hand on my chest and I'm like, you dare question that I wouldn't come back for my dear brother, the brother I have grown with and known my entire life?
Give me
I'm
a
offended.
charisma check.
Okay, charisma is 11.
Yeah, you can click the big purple CHR button, or you can roll d20 plus 11, whichever you choose.
That's perfect.
That is a very good roll. That is a very good roll. Here's the dice page. 30. Yeah. You want a 21 or higher for success. So a 30 is an absolute baller of a success. They believe you. They think you are 100%. They see sincerity in your eyes when you talk about bringing back your brother, being nobles that are involved in banking. And bankers, I mean, you got to trust them at their word. Their word's the only thing that they've got going for them. A banker who lies is a banker who's quickly out of business. Child of a banker out here selling some grain. It all seems to be adding up to them. So they tell you that they will accept the ransom for your brother. If you can, the trip from here to Arcadia, roughly like a month and a half. If you can be back in 3 months with the money, they'll ransom him at 1,000 gold. If it takes more than 3 months, but less than 6 months, it goes up 50%. And then it goes up another 50% for every 6 months after that you take. Or you'll come back and he'll be dead, depending on what. So you want your brother alive? You stay in touch. You get back as quickly as possible with that money. And we'll keep him here for you. If any of this gets out to the White Prince, if we hear the White Prince's men are coming and looking for him, if they suspect anything, if there's even a whiff of suspicion, we're going to chop him into little pieces and throw him in the ocean. You had better take extra efforts to protect us while you're away, and you had better hope that no one comes looking for anyone else that we think might be looking for your brother. Otherwise, we're going to chop him up into little pieces and throw him into the ocean.
Little pieces, I got it,
Little pieces.
Save me a piece if I'm late.
Look at this guy. Look at this gallows humor. This is almost good enough to join us. Okay, all right. We'll keep an eye on him. You better come back lickety split. They will take you down to the harbor. They've already confiscated the stuff on your boat. You can see that your crew has been dragged off to a jail cell. Someone else is given charge of your boat. One of the minions of the people who've captured you. You haven't even gotten their names yet. You've got descriptions of their faces. It's 2 men and 3 women. You could probably pick them out of a crowd, but you don't know their names. They give one of their people, roll me a d5. real quick. Yeah, one of the women, the youngest of them, a brunette whose name you will get because she's going to sail with you back towards Arcadia. She'll drop you off on a different island that will take you towards Redport. Her name is Nina. And she will take you to a different town here in the Dardanelles that has a ship that will take you back to Arcadia, where you can go to Redport and get the money and come on back. And you will have a short little while, maybe about a week on this boat with Nina and some of her other crew members who you don't really get to know at all. So, what do you say to Nina? How do you behave for this first week when you're still in view of the people who have captured you and your brother?
I think I'm trying to be very, subservient and thankful for their kindness of, being generous enough to accept the ransom and not just outright kill us. And so I'm trying to be sort of agreeable and amenable and stuff like that. But I'm also sort of trying to figure out who they are, like, and what they're up to, and
Yeah.
maybe if they talk about, like, if they have an enemy or something like that.
Why don't you give me another charisma check, please? Let's see how well you get along with Nina. How the two of you hit it off. 22, very nice. So, you and Nina actually get along. Despite kidnapping your brother, she's kind of a likable woman. She's got a clear mind of what she wants in life. She goes after it. She's able to run a ship pretty well, and she is quite the fighter. During your week together, she arms you with a rapier and practice with you. She gets bored on the boat. Most of the time you're just sailing. You got the guy at the helm and you're just chilling, waiting for land to show up. So she will spar back and forth with you. And I think this is where you first learn some sort of sword fighting, is with Nina here.
Yep.
Tell me, are you eager to learn this sort of thing, or are you just playing along because she's asking you to play along? How does your...
I'm sort of curious, but it kind of is kind of above me. I'm more about, like, sort of manipulation, but I'm enjoying it because it's kind of passing the time.
Okay. Will you give me an intelligence check to see how quickly you pick up sword fighting? 25. Very nice. So, despite this not being what you wanted to be out here doing, you managed to pick up the back and forth pretty well. Maybe it's because you and Nina actually get along very well, that you can read what her body is about to do. She can read what you're thinking, and the back and forth sparring is nice. I mean, she's clearly outclassing you. She's like a level 5 fighter or something. She could easily kick your ass if she wanted, but it comes along a lot more nicely and a lot more appreciably skillfully than anyone would have expected. After a week and a half aboard the boat, you are being let off on a dock that will head, back to another ship that'll head back to Redport. And she gives you a rapier, which is not a cheap thing. That's like a 40 gold item that she's just handing you right now with a, it's a show of, how would you say? Camaraderie, yeah. Camaraderie and something, like, there's something going on here. There's almost, I wouldn't call it quite like a crush or a romance, but there is a connection between you and your captor, which is more than friendly. It's almost like a mutual respect or a mutual, desire to see the other person do well. Camaraderie is a pretty good word here. And so she will gift you a rapier.
Brilliant.
That's
awesome. I like Nina.
Tell me, what would you have said to her or left her with when you guys departed after she gifts you a rapier?
I would have said, this is too much. I can't take this. I can't possibly take a rapier. You know, I don't know what to say. I didn't expect a gift. This is incredible. Thank you so much.
Add it to the total of gold that you owe us. Make it 1,040. We'll call it even. You're gonna need.
I'm like,
go ahead.
I'm like bowing and scraping. It's like, yes, absolutely. I'll make sure to add it to the total.
Mm-hmm. And just make sure you live long enough to get us our gold. Don't forget, we still have your brother's life in our hands. And while I would hate to see his blood, your kin's blood, be shed, we'll have our money one way or another, even if we have to get it out of him ourselves. And she
yeah,
checks your eyes to make sure she's made an impression upon you.
Like, I do my best impression of being sort of like a bit, you know, taken aback and, okay, I wasn't expecting this fury. We were getting along so well, you know?
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, with that, she'll leave you on the dock to make your way back home to Arcadia. And how does your journey home go? Is it straightforward or is it messy? You can just decide this one on your own.
I'd say it's like fairly straightforward. I run into a few people. I run my mouth, etc. But nothing remarkable happens on the journey home.
Great. So eventually, you'll make it home, back to your home of Rockwave. I think you land in Redport and then hike along the road for a few miles back to Rockwave. When you get home, your family is here. Waiting for you guys, not ever really knowing when you get back, because of course back in the day of sailors, they just arrive when they arrive. They might be gone for a month, or maybe they're gone for 10 years, but one day they come home. They are excited to see you, and they quickly notice your brother is not here, and you arrived by road when you left by boat. Where's Bale?
Well, look, he got himself captured, and I tried to free him, but I couldn't beat them, and they ended up capturing me too, and they want a ransom for him, and I told them that, look, I'm the less important brother, I'll go back and see if I can get the money for them.
Tell me about your family. What social class are they from? Are they peasants, servants, merchants, nobles?
Oh, they're actually like dirt poor.
Dirt poor peasants. Your father looks at you. Saol, did you leave your brother in the hands of people who captured him?
Well, they were gonna kill us, so I did what I had to survive. You know what it's like.
I don't know what it's like throwing away my brother's life to save my own. And no son of mine will ever know what that's like. And your father will take just a little pitchfork that he's been shoveling shit with and tosses it over towards you and grabs a hoe from nearby and spins it around and sort of like stands off with you and begins to tell you the story of when he was a very young man. There was this incursion of Grell into the Hemdorkos Hills to the north. This is a famous historical event in the area a couple generations back called the Hemdorkos Incursion, and the kingdom had to unite against this sudden outpouring of Grell, these evil, weird creatures with giant brains that have beaks and tentacles. Let me just show you a picture, because Grell are kind of cool looking. I mean, they're totally cheesy and dumb, but they're also terrifying and awesome. And they're 10th level psychic space alien looking monstery thingies that showed up.
Oh god.
And your dad tells you about
horrifying.
the time that he was pulled into the army to go fight Grell, and how he learned camaraderie and brotherhood and honor and friendship, and also how to fight with a spear. And he, even though he doesn't have a spear, will start to wail on you with the blunt end of the hoe while you try and defend yourself with the pitchfork, as sort of like a punishment for leaving your brother behind, and also a I'm going to teach you how to use a spear so you can go find your brother and bring him back home, because you're not going to abandon your brother. Where is he?
Of course.
Saol, where'd you leave him? Your father asks.
I don't know. I don't remember the name of the town. I think it was called like something or other. It was in the island.
Something or other? He whacks at you again with his stick. You left your brother in something or other port? How are you ever going to find him, Saol?
I didn't really think that far, Father. You know me. I'm good at getting out of things. I'm not good at fixing things.
This is not necessarily well reserved. I think your father, in a burst of anger, will really start trying to crack you over the head with this. But he's a bit older than you, and he was only like a soldier for a couple of years, like 40 years ago. So his spearmanship is not that great. He knows enough to teach you the basics, which will be done over the next couple years. And I think this is where we take our first break. We'll come back.
Yep.
And when we do, we will talk about what it is that gets you to change your mind and go out searching for your brother, and how you first set off on your journey. But we will do that on the other side of our break. So see you guys in a few minutes. Bye-bye.